Love it. Well, we had a fun experience on last Saturday. We filmed that, huh? That was a thing, right? We did.
It was a thing. It was
Yeah.
emotional. Overall, I would say
Oh yeah.
it was a productive day, but I mean it was draining. I don't know how you handled all that criticism and negative energy, but
Well,
we
okay.
beat
So
you up.
be careful when you say it because the credit was part of the movie. Like it wasn't just people saying stuff. It was they were supposed to do that as part of the movie because, it's the thematic thing is how all the negative voices in our heads and how we have you know we choose to if we give those voices the I don't know authority, then our lives are kind of going to be messed up if we continue to give those voices authority. And so essentially, those negative voices are drowned out by the voice of truth, which is God, who says he loves us. What are your, I guess, thoughts on people or just the whole theme of the film? Like, what do you want people to take away from it, or what do you think people will take away from it? Is the question.
I mean, you're really brave. I will say that, Ryan. Just one, putting your story out there, but two, being so vulnerable and authentic to some of these memories that I think are very relatable because since I have a theater degree and I tell people I have a theater degree, they're like, well, why don't you do anything in that field of work? And it's like, I do, but it doesn't always translate to acting. But the fact that I have strong public speaking skills and I feel like I thrive well under pressure. Um, I'm not perfect, but I will say that the biggest takeaway that I got is the fact that throughout it all the negativity and all the bad voices, the fact that you're still putting yourself out there uh, is not easy to do, especially when it gets to the point to where it's draining you. And I mean, I still get nervous before every performance. That's just
Oh
something
yeah.
I go through as a human experience. But to actually
Okay.
experience like depression and full on tears, having a breakdown moments before you're about to be called on stage, and you still got to perform, that's your livelihood, man, that's something,
Yeah.
dude. Right.
Like.
I will say too, speaking of puppets, um, I don't know if you realize this or not, but we did this show sort of whenever we were doing the clean comedy thing. It was like Ryan's gig, and the puppets were heckling you, and then you got through it, and then you sang the letter B.
Yeah, we did. Like it was. And subconsciously, I think we did that. But and that goes to another thing that the film that I originally had in mind that I thought was completely different than what we ended up shooting. Um, and I thought what we ended up shooting was a lot more vulnerable and a lot more, um, yeah, it was a lot more relatable, I thought, and a lot more interesting to watch than what the original idea that I had. Um, and it was a little bit more difficult to shoot and try to get everybody there, but I think the payoff was worth it.
What were your expectations going into the day of the shoot, and then how did that play out versus reality?
Um, wow, that was a good. I thought that I was really happy. Now I guess I was really happy with everybody else that was there, like the performances. I thought that went better than I expected. The shoot like that. I loved the what William did with the coach, what Helena did with Katie, and then the we had to kind of improvise and get new at the last second, cast new people for my boss, and then we added a character of my babysitter on the day of the shoot, and that worked out better than anything that we had written. If you remember that, like part of that, because the kid who played my boss in the film um, was just, I mean, you couldn't have gotten a better pricky performance with him just eating the chip. So yeah, it was great. And then the babysitter thing with Amanda, she was that was the last second addition, and she nailed that. So I thought that all went better. Um, where now the driving home from Kansas City that night,
Yeah.
I I was really thinking, what about my performance? I didn't think that I did that great, um, especially once the crowd was gone, because that was very difficult. It's very difficult to perform like you're doing a live show without a crowd. And then, and that was always like in my head, thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man. And then I get a text from Jeff on Wednesday saying, "You're a great actor. What you were able to do with the without the crowd there was really impressive." And then if you've seen the rough cut, like it, I don't think you could tell.
No.
So I was like, "Whoa, okay." It wasn't as bad as I thought because I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the energy, and like it was. So that to me, I was more like disappointed in myself, but also um, I was relieved that we had shot it. I was like, we did it. So there was a big relief there that we did it. We got this on film. We got this, like that was cool. So that there was, it was just, all these like thoughts were playing in my head of like, okay, yeah, I could have been better here, but no, like I thought it looked good there. I thought it was great, but then I thought, even the visuals, I was like, oh, I hope that it looks okay, and but Jeff showed me the rough cut of it, and I was like, oh wow, this looks amazing. Like it looks good, and so I was like, it could not have. Um, I don't want to say it could not have gone better, but it went the way that it was supposed to go, and it was. I thought we had a really cool day and experience, and I think that it was something that once it was done, I was like, yeah, cool, man, cool, we did it.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Shout out Jeff Nicholson.
Oh
That
yeah,
dude's
he's
a
great.
pro.
He's great.
He's
He's
a pro's
great.
pro.
So
Yeah.
good. So I'm so glad that he responded to us, uh, and responded to me, and really kind of took my ideas and then gave me some feedback, and yeah, just, and then I used a lot of his feedback too, which is really cool, because, and then even with you too, like, and that's the thing that I like, um with you kind of directed me there, hey, like, get more angry here, get more angry here, like, don't play it like this, but get more angry, like, taking all that feedback was really cool. So just taking you and Jeff's feedback, it was really cool. And then Jeff was such a professional. He was awesome. And I can't say enough kind things about him. What were your expectations going into that?
Yeah,
Because
man.
you had been with me from the get go, like from October, when I first had this idea to do this short.
I just didn't want to get in the way. And ultimately, it's your vision. And I wanted to do everything in my power to help facilitate your vision. And my expectations were hopefully people show up. I think I counted
Right.
25 people there that day at max.
That's how much I estimated. That's how much
Yeah.
and it was so cool. Like, so it all kind of evened out, man.
It did.
And I thought, I mean, I thought you as the voice of God, I think it's gonna come through, man. Um, You know, we don't. I like the still small voice. We don't need James Earl Jones. Like, you know.
Yeah. Well, my
But
dad would always tell me sometimes less is more, and
yeah.
I didn't
I agree.
I didn't know what that meant until I was about 25 years old. But
Well, in acting, especially when you're acting in film, you and I both come from the theater. And acting for film is different than theater. Like, and one of the reasons I like hiring theater people is because they go up here with their performance, and you can always dial it down. Whereas, like, if you do a film person who's only really acted in film, it's hard to get that like that performance, that energy, that you know, you to dial it up. Ask them to dial it up a little bit because they're not used to it. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
that's a less is more thing too. You know, less
Yeah.
is more too, especially on camera.
I don't know. I guess like my expectations versus reality too would just kind of boil back down to, just wanted to make sure we weren't wasting people's time. I don't think we did that at all, and it flew by really quick because like sometimes you do these gigs and it's a lot of hurry up and wait while you're almost kind of building the plane while you're flying it. But I think, like you said, you were very open to feedback. You and Jeff were kind of on the same page as far as we need to get this shot, get it. Okay, this is the next thing we're going to set up for. And you got
Right.
all like you took care of business. We did a good run through of top to bottom. This is what the shows looks like. Now we're going to take bite-sized chunks and we're going to get these shots so that way we can get everybody out of here and not be fiddle farting around and wasting people's time. So overall, yeah, it was a very productive day, and yeah, the rough cut's pretty cool.
You know, I don't know about you, Trenton, but like sometimes when I have I don't know if I've ever called it this, but I was like, I had a vision for this. And I was like, well, I felt like a calling to do something like this. And so I'm reading this book, and I actually was reading this chapter before we did this. It's from my men's Bible study. It's about the 5 masculine instincts, and one of it's ambition. And ambition, essentially, we can definitely turn that into a sin because of it can, and I'll explain why here, but this excerpt from this chapter really hit home for me, and I want to share it because it says our vision becomes the standard by which we judge ourselves, others, and God. We become God's judge, measuring him against the fulfillment of our own expectations. When we fail, we look for someone to blame, the people who hold us back, or we get in our own way. Our own lack of discipline or talent, and even our Creator, the one who has failed to create us adequately or answer our most ambitious prayers. Finally, we become our own accuser and slide into self loathing and discouragement. So that's, to me, that was like the ambition. When we think of it, like, and I guess like the setting expectations of it, and it goes back to the biblical terms of like the times of Moses. Moses had this calling or this vision to get people out of Egypt and into the promised land, but he never actually got to see that happen. David, same thing with the temple, had this vision, want to, but he, like Solomon, built that, so he never got to see God's temple. Um, and so that was really like encouraging to me because it's like, hey man, like yes, I do have expectations for this and expectations going into this, but um, I can't make that an idol because then I'll turn into something. If it doesn't go perfectly or anything doesn't happen perfectly, then I become irritable and angry. And so that's why I said it happened the way that it was supposed to happen.
Well, we talked about it that day because I feel like Jeff was asking about our improv experiences together, and I don't know, I love improv, but improv is like making your partner look good, and that's key, and that's I just want to be and I use that a lot in work, in the workforce. It comes a lot with communication and group think, and what does this need to improve or crank the
What does the
energy up.
scene need? Yeah. What
What
does the
does the
scene
scene
need?
need?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yep.
what is it, our group need? Yeah.
Well, you are
Great
performing
parallel.
every time you enter a room.
Great parallel. Great parallel. Yeah. And so
So,
you stepped in where you were needed, man. We had a lot of people did. A lot of people did. Like Amanda, I just met her a couple like a week ago, before the shoot. Actually, a week before the shoot, at this filmmakers workshop that we were doing, and it was actually an acting workshop that we were doing virtually. And she ended up sending me a message saying, "I live in Sedalia. I can help you out with any extras or whatever, or be a part of it." And so I responded to her, "Yeah." And then we ended up having somebody cancel on us to because they were sick, calling in sick the night before. And so I reached out to her saying, "Hey, we actually not only do we need an extra, but we actually have a part for you in this." So she ended up getting a part, and then I thought she killed it as the babysitter in that. Um, so it was just fun to see how it all kind of played out. Like my expectations going into that Friday night, and then there was a lot of things that worked better than I expected. As far as like film or this project, like what was your favorite part about being a part of it? I guess what
oh
did you
man.
like about it?
Well, obviously, I like the fact that you got my voice in there, but kind of going back to what I've been saying, just kind of figuring out what do we need in the moment, and just shout out to Catalina, my lady that I
Sure,
brought along with her. She was awesome. She was very
milady.
productive. She's never done anything like this. She's not
No,
a
God bless
camera
her
person
too.
at all. Yeah, she's very shy, but
I
you know,
know, and she was there too. She was, I mean, yeah.
yeah,
God, really thank her so much. She was such a. It was great. She was there, like, and she was literally a shoulder too, like, and
yeah,
a lot. So it was great. Like she was much needed. It was much needed, and
absolutely.
I just so appreciate her so much.
But yeah, whether it's just moving chairs and tables, or being the curtain, holding a curtain up, and even though we didn't really have a curtain rod or nothing, it was a human behind it the whole time. But no, I think probably my favorite part was going up to the soundboard and turning down channel 6 and 7, 6, 7, and yeah, we got rid of the humming from the monitor speakers, and
I didn't know where
I
that
forgot
came
to
from.
turn those back up when we left too. Sorry, Gathering Baptist Church.
That's fine. They know. Well, I hope. And shout out to them too, by the way. Shout out to them too. Like we went all this like shout out to the gathering because they trusted me enough to let me use that space, and it was really cool. Like it was a really cool setup, and you know I thought that worked out better. The sound worked out better than I thought it was. So it was going to. So yeah, it was really cool. There was a lot to stress out about, and then once you did it, it was. That's why I was like, there was a relief. I was like, you know what, we got something, and yeah, it was a team effort, a team effort. Look at your
Amen.
hair, man. Look at your hair, dude.
I like it.
It's great. It's great. We had you in a man bun too.
Yeah, we
I
did.
think my I
I
think
don't
my
think like
favorite
that.
part.
None of that made the rough cut though. But yeah, you see
No,
Catalina
no,
more than you
but
see me.
no, but it gave me something to talk about, like where Jeff was setting up shots. Like that was also too like Jeff was he was setting up the shot, and I was like, okay, I got to find a way to like do some crowd work here to keep them energized and everything. And so that was fun for me too to do that, and that actually gave me energy um, to perform as well. But yeah, so you were kind of fodder for that, and I
No,
thank you for
that's
that.
it's interesting you mentioned that because I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the fact that yeah, you were performing every time you enter a room. So in between shots, yeah, like it made it that much more entertaining because it was fun. I had no idea hours had passed by until, you look at the clock. But yeah.
And it's 1 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That helped with the flow of things. And I didn't
Right.
even think about that till you pointed it out.
Any last words, Trenton?
Come see Tears from the Clown on a streaming service near you once it's dropped.
We're gonna go festival market. Like there's a
dang.
Branson Film Festival coming up. I hope that it's ready in time, but if not, then I'm still gonna go to it. I have business cards that I made.
You pro.
And so I got business cards that I made. I'm gonna go and promote everything. But even if it's not ready, then because I don't want to force something if it's not ready. Like the deadline is March 31st. So I don't want to force it if it's not like to my liking, but then but then I'm still gonna go and attend the Branson Film Festival just to get my name out there and the film out there. But yeah.
Shout out to Gathering Baptist, Independence Mo. Shout out to Matt LeBlanc turning up.
Yes.
Shout out to Catalina.
Yeah,
Helen, Amanda.
And that's another thing too, is that like I didn't think of a joke for the announcer, but then I thought, well, Matt LeBlanc reached out to me about being a part of this, and so I was like, well, why don't he be the announcer, and I could go into the Matt LeBlanc joke, and so, like where it's like we thought you were Joey, like, so yeah. And I thought that set the stage for his act. I don't know. I thought that worked out. I thought that worked out better than I originally had written too. So
yeah. Kansas City local legends in the house.
Yeah.
Real recognizes real, man. I think that's all I got. I could go on for days.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there was an. I think we said what we needed to say, but it was like you said, it was a productive experience. And that's what I took away from it. It was productive. And I think that will definitely show on film.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Yeah. Right where we are.
And, yeah. There he is, the voice of God, T-Dog. Shout out T-Dog. Shout outs Catalina. Once again, for going above and beyond and helping me out so much with this, even though, everybody was probably tired at the end of the day. Like, shout out so much to you guys. And then it was cool. It was a fun experience, man.
Shout out to Kendall the dog. Ryan, you are loved.
Yes. And you know what? That's also what I want to say, too, is that's what I want people to get out of this, is that you are loved. And don't listen to those negative voices in your head, okay? Regardless of what they say, you are loved and you matter.